Hello, epic human, and welcome to the Vision Program. I am Cindy O'Donnell, and it is such an honor to have you here because your time, your energy, your attention, your focus, that has a currency and it is tremendously valuable. And for you to be choosing to spend it in my world means so much. I have been teaching vision board programs every year in different formats, either online, in person, retreats. And year after year, it evolves because I evolve. And this reproduction of the Vision program is so far one of my favorites. I'm a little biased, I guess, but you are going to learn the processes, the healing modalities, the journaling prompts, all the things that I have used over the last 5 years to take me from burnout to bankruptcy to breakthrough. And I'm so excited to share it with you. So whether you're starting a journey of self-discovery, you're starting over after grief, you're starting over after loss, you're starting a New Year's resolution, wherever you're coming from, I invite you to participate fully in this program because we are going to have so much fun. I promise you that this program will bring you lots of value. It's got so many golden nuggets, as people call them. And if there are some OG Zen Divas in the house, it's so good to see you again. And I think you know that when I do something, I like to do it with full passion, full commitment. So you have my full passion and my full commitment. If you're new to my world, I do hope that you take a few moments to introduce yourself in the comments section. So these videos are going to be posted on all sorts of places. So wherever you're watching from, it may be uncomfortable for you to, type, "Hi, this is who I am, and I'm here and I'm excited," but I am going to stretch you and I'm going to encourage you to do so many things throughout this program. Why not let that be your starting point? Because if not, this program ends up being just another background video, right? One of those videos that you've watched and you're like, "Oh, that's so inspiring," and then you move on. I really want to create friendships and community, and I want this program to help change you, to help give you the change that you're looking to create in your life. So if you are new here, it's probably important that I tell you, like, who is this Cindy chick and why should I listen to her? Well, if you're going to spend probably like 6+ hours with me, it's important that I let you know who am I and why I'm teaching these things and why I'm talking about these things. Because I, for one, truly value credentials and experience when I'm investing in a program. And investing doesn't mean big dollar signs, it just means investing, right? So I started the Zen Diva Academy, the Zen Diva brand, with spirit medium readings and sessions. I called my sessions Journey to Mindfulness. This was back in 2004. Back then, I did a lot of public speaking, a lot of education on mindfulness, leadership, personal development. And from there, I continued on to become a registered massage therapist, a naturopath, a yoga instructor, a craniosacral therapist, and a teacher assistant with the Upledger Institute. So I'm also an entrepreneur who's had many successful businesses and a few that were successful and then not so much. I've got some good life experience. I've been a political advisor, a campaign manager, as well as a mentor and a coach in many different fields. So you could say I've worn a lot of hats in my lifetime, and I've got a lot of good stories. And that's really what's most important, right? Because the stories will hopefully inspire you and help you on your journey. I love a good analogy, and people often comment on my analogies. They're like, "Cindy, you have a way to take an analogy and a story and make something super complex, really simple and fun." That's super good because you know what? My mission is to make healing and spirituality both simple and fun. Because I truly believe in the world of, like, there's an abundance of stuff online, and some people like to overcomplicate things, don't they? It's like they keep you confused so that they keep you wanting more. Funny how that works. Anyway, that's a story for another day. So here's a few housekeeping rules and what to expect. The program videos will be posted on YouTube. The audio will be on my podcast. So you can have this as an audio only. I wanted to have that as an option because I have like a 30-minute commute to work, and I love listening to a good podcast or a good program. So this option is available to you. If you're someone who prefers to sit and feel like you're in a classroom or feel like you're on a Zoom call, then we have them on YouTube. Now, the homework and the PDF guides that I'm going to talk about, they're available when you sign up for the program with your email. It's not because I want to spam you. It's not because I'm going to send you 1,000 emails a day, but it is important that I have your email address so that I can send you the PDF guides. And also sometimes on social media, right? The algorithm be algorithming. So having your email ensures that you have all the information that you need for the program and that you're not searching all over and that you're not missing some of my posts. But definitely follow me on social media, and you can even set the notifications so that whenever I post something new, you'll be notified. Also, when it comes to email, make sure that you check your junk mail folder and then add me to your contacts, because I don't want to get lost in your junk mail abyss. It's kind of scary and dark there. I don't know. It's weird. There's a lot of people trying to sell me stuff that I don't really want. Anyways, so please add me to your contacts and we're going to have lots of fun. You're also allowed to invite your friends. So if something in this workshop, like you're taking yourself through these processes and you're like, oh my goodness, Sally could so use this, invite them. Invite Sally. Invite anyone you think of. However, I ask if you can send them a message first and let them know why you're giving them this link. Because sometimes like people just like, hey, check this out. And they send a link and it's for a course like this. It's like starting over, self-help, vision. It might come across as like unsolicited advice, and unsolicited advice really feels off-putting, and it doesn't feel good. Think of a time when you weren't looking for advice and someone was just like, hey, by the way, and then they give you life advice. It's not fun. So let's be better than that. Now, last but not least, what I'm teaching in this program, or what anybody's teaching on the internet these days, at the end of the day, it's not new information. There's not like some major download and code coming from the universe, and then I'm sharing it with you. It's like brand new, never been thought of before information. If somebody acts that way, maybe like they need to be humbled a little bit, because it's going back to basics. If there's any magical key, it's actually going back to basics. So what we're sharing is our personal experiences with it, our personal stories with it, our unique way of teaching it. And that, to me, I've decided should be completely free, because although it requires some of my time and my energy and my effort, I want to give back. I want to collaborate in creating a world that I wish to live in. And I think that that should be done no matter what your budget is. So if you're a person who's self-led, then this program may be all that you need to get inspired and to get going. Or if you have no choice right now but to be self-led, then this program might be everything you need to get inspired and get going. If you are someone who has a lot of questions and needs a little bit more support, a little bit more guidance, or even just a little bit more accountability, that's okay too. One-on-one support is available to you by booking a private session, either in person or online, and group support is available through my mentorship program in my Zen Diva Odyssey membership. So you can have whatever it is you need from this program, and you can head to my website for more information about all of those. Now, okay, I think I did the intro, I did the what to expect. Can we just get this party started? Because you will get what you put into it as far as this program goes. You've received some pre-homework if you signed up for the program via your email. Some of you may have just ignored it. Some of you are like, what? I got some pre-homework? What is that? Check your junk mail folder again and add me to your contacts. But the pre-program homework is so important, because it is where you're going to journal and ask yourself, why am I doing this? And this is so important, because the process isn't just like journaling, why am I doing this? What is my why? My pet peeve question too was like, what is your big why? I don't know, because I wanna. But what you're doing in this exercise in the vision program is you are connecting with the future you. There's a version of you out there, not too far away, in a different timeline, who is very excited for you to hop on this mission. They are very excited for the vision train, like choo choo, all aboard. And if you lose sight of that version of you, when the motivation leaves, you're just going to get off the train on the next stop. And then a little while later, you're going to be looking for the next train, maybe the more flashy train, maybe the train with the louder horn. At the end of the day, the key to your success with this program, or any program, is to stick to it. And when we go back to basics, it is simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. And remember, I said I want to keep things both simple and fun. So if I go over a term or a process or something that you're very familiar with, instead of having that mental body be like, oh my God, I already know this. Why am I doing this? I invite you to say, thank you for the reminder. And then let yourself sink deeper into these topics. Because one important life lesson that I learned is that it's what you learn after you know it all that matters the most. And again, going back to basics is such an important key to healing. We all know we need good sleep, we need water, we need good food, we need movement. Like we know all of these things. So if we know all of these things, then why is it that so many people are unhealthy? It's because it's not easy to stick to it. So then we try to find the quick fix, the life hacks that we overcomplicate it instead of just going back to basics and consistency. So if these topics that I'm going to talk about are completely new to you, and you have questions, because I have people from all walks of life in my world. Some people are super spiritual already, super enlightened, but they're very disconnected from their physical body. And some it's the other way around. And that's why I created Zen Diva. It's a combination of both. So if you have questions, I invite you to ask them in the comments section of wherever you're watching from. Let's keep the conversation going. I love curiosity. So if a topic brought up some curiosity for you or a question, let's live a vibrant life, because curious people live a very vibrant life. And when I've held this workshop in the past and I've asked people, okay, what are you hoping to get out of this workshop? What are you hoping to get out of the Zen Diva Academy? What are you hoping? And many, many people said, I'm looking for friendships and connections. And I think that is so important, because now more than ever, we need friendships and connections. We need to look people in the eye. We need to connect, to get to know people. We were isolated for so long, not that long ago. So let's make this a place where we don't actually just love bomb everybody. Like that's not the vibe either. And let's also not criticize everybody. Let's make this the space where you get to know people. Get curious about people as well. So if you're someone who desires friendships and connection, then I definitely invite you to join the Zen Diva Odyssey membership, because we're going to have so much fun in there. Now, the most important part with any journey of starting over, of healing, of creating change, is to understand that we are multifaceted beings. You might call yourself a little colorful. I call myself colorful all the time. The reason for this is because we have archetypes and personas. We have a shadow self. We have a light self. So all of these terms throughout this program, we're going to talk about them. So don't worry if these terms are very new to you. But for the purpose of this program, it's really important that you understand we have 4 bodies, 4 modes, if you wish. And this program has 4 modules. So each module focuses on one of these bodies at its core. Even though it might not always be obvious, it's very important. So this is why I recommend don't skip through the modules. Do them in order, even if it takes you a bit longer to do them. Take yourself through the exercises. So your 4 bodies, the first one is your physical body. This is your flesh, your physical body, your inner physician. Our physical body is it's more dense as far as vibrations speak. So it is our physical world. Is it our 3D reality? It is, your nose is itchy, right? And then your nose itches. Or it is, oh, my hand hurts. Or my body needs movement. My body feels inflamed. My nervous system feels activated. This is all physical body. And we have an inner physician, which is always wanting to heal us. And our inner physician, the scientific term for that is called homeostasis. So if you're a very science-based person, you can geek out on the process of homeostasis, but to keep it simple, it's our body's ability to heal itself and desire to heal itself at all times. Our body heals itself when it is in rest and digest mode, meaning sleep and not an activated nervous system. When our nervous system is super active and we're on adrenaline, it is not rest and digest, it is fight or flight. And knowing when to navigate from one to the other is very important. Now, our second body is our mental body. This is our warrior, our ego. Some people even call it the inner critic, but the mental body is not just the inner critic. Remember when I said there's shadow and light? So each of these 4 bodies has a shadow and a light to it. So if we go back to physical body, inner physician homeostasis would be the light, and the shadow would be burnout, exhaustion, tired, injury, illness. Okay. The mental body, the warrior, some people say the inner critic. Well, the inner critic would be the shadow of the mental body, but there's a light to your mental body, which we can call it, like, we can give it so many names. I like the warrior because it protects you. It keeps you safe. So your mental body, although sometimes it's like, don't do that, you're no good, also sometimes says, if you flap your wings and jump off a cliff, you are not a bird, you will not fly. So the mental body actually like saves you in a lot of cases, right? Don't touch that, fire bad. Mental body, warrior. Our emotional body, which is a third body, is our inner child. Our emotional body can also be our inner teenager, and we talk about that in a module of the Zen Diva Odyssey. But your inner child and your inner teenager, the shadow and the light, the inner child that maybe was a super creative being full of love and light and life, and then was told, shh, go there, don't be heard. As a matter of fact, don't be seen either. And then internalize that rejection. Maybe was picked last all the time at sports. Maybe did something, had an oral presentation at school and fumbled their words and then everybody made fun of them. Whatever it may be, all emotions come from the emotional body and all emotions come from experience. And what happens is our mental body and our emotional body really play together. So we feel an emotion and then our mental body gives that emotion a meaning. So I usually say that although all four bodies play together all the time, sometimes your warrior is wearing a backpack, and in that backpack is the inner child. So it's like the mental and emotional body are tag teaming. Now, the last body is your energy body or your spirit body. The light part of this could be your goddess, right? Your inner wisdom. And then the shadow part of this is sometimes we take it a little too far and we become quote unquote too spiritual. And then we poo-poo the 3D reality. We don't want to live in the 3D world because, oh my gosh, peasants on earth in a physical body. Ew, let's ascend to the 100D. No, you would explode. Like your physical body cannot ascend that high. You've come to earth for a reason. But again, balancing the shadow and the light. So your energy body, your goddess body, your spirit guide, that is your inner wisdom. And a lot of people talk about universe now, and we're in the next module, we will talk about, actually, sorry, 2 modules from now, we will talk about the law of attraction and how maybe some people have gotten it a little bit wrong, calling the universe like this external thing delivering gifts to you when it's in fact, it's your energy body. You are the universe incarnated. Story for another day. But these all play together. These all have both polarities. So 4 bodies kind of become 8 bodies. And you wonder why you're all over the place sometimes. But what's most important is that we're trying to blend these at all times. And these are all you. So none of these are good, none of these are bad. They are you. So actually they are kind of good, aren't they? But even the shadow is good. There's no bad emotion. There's a bad feeling emotion, right? Anger is not a bad emotion, but anger is not a pleasant feeling to feel. But it's not a bad emotion. It's just anger. And it is divine because when anger shows up, it's coming to be experienced and seen to show you something, to teach you something, to move through something. So if you can play with your emotions and play with your beliefs, because they are playing together all the time, that is a superpower. We're going to tap into that superpower. So can you feel, I'm going to ask you a question. Can you feel your emotions fully without attaching a belief to them? Can you get the warrior to take that backpack called emotions, inner child, off of its back? Because what happens is the inner child, the emotions say, oh my gosh, I am so hurt. I'm feeling so rejected right now. Warrior straps on the backpack, says, let's go. I've got this. That person's a loser anyway. They're a narcissist. They're no good for you. So warrior goes to battle. Instead, what if we detach them from one another and your child says, I'm hurt. And they are alone in a room and they feel the hurt. And then maybe, just maybe, your spirit body comes in to comfort, to nurture, to soothe. Maybe your physical body takes a nap, rests, asks a loved one for a hug. What if we detach them so that we can give the inner child, you, what you would have needed when you were young and you were hurt? What if we could nurture and soothe that? Because when the child is with the warrior, it is not so receptive. But when we separate the two, it becomes so much easier. Now, the warrior on its own, that's a whole other story, isn't it? But we're going to become friends with your warrior. We're going to become friends with your inner critic. Say, hey, why are you saying that? Why do you believe that to be true? Where does that come from? And when the emotion is not attached to it, it is simply a belief. And then we can reprogram that belief and rewire your knee-jerk reaction. And wouldn't that be great that you wouldn't be so activated or triggered all the time? They say hurt people hurt people. You've probably all heard that, right? But it's hurt people without the wherewithal to do the inner work that hurt people. Hurt people without standards and boundaries hurt people. Absolutely. But I'm inviting you to start to reflect and to internalize all of this. I'm inviting you to never apologize for your emotions anymore. Nobody should. Nobody should apologize for their emotions. But here's what we should apologize for. Apologize for the way in which you expressed your emotions. Physical body, right? Which way you vocalized your emotions, which way your body managed your emotions, which way you treated others in an emotional state, the way you treated yourself during an emotional state. If you can start to take ownership for that, it is the best gift you can give yourself. And in the next module, we're going to talk a lot about forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, forgiving circumstances. And that might be a heavy module for some of you. And if you have to push pause, then push pause. It's okay. Take this course at your pace. Now, if you find yourself like already reflecting on these concepts and you're like, oh my God, Cindy, never mind blaming other people. Like I have been blaming my zodiac sign. I've been blaming like Mercury retrograde. I've been blaming my human design. Like I've been blaming anything but my lack of self-responsibility. That's okay. We've all been there. We've all experienced some sort of that because it's easier to direct the blame at something else. No, but the problem with that is that it gives you a circumstantial emotion. Therefore, you only have circumstantial power. Because you're like, well, I'm not powerful enough because my zodiac sign dominates how I act. I'm just a Cancer. It's just the way I am. I'm an emotional mess. I am. However, there are times when I can manage those emotions and maybe not blame my zodiac sign. Therefore, not giving my power a limited circumstance to I can only fit in this box called Cancer zodiac sign, because then you have your moon and your ascension and your sun and then this and then that and then what is your human design and then what planet is in what orbit right now. There's a lot of things, right? A lot of circumstances. So I'm inviting you to detach from all those unplug all those plugs and really step into your power and create your reality from a place of true alignment. You may have heard this term before, alignment. Alignment, it's a buzzword, right? Alignment. But what does it mean? Well, now that you understand the four bodies and the shadow and the light, alignment is being in a place of empowerment when all four bodies, both their shadow and their light, come together and you return home to yourself and you walk towards the sunset and you create your amazing reality. Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't that feel empowering? You not fighting with yourself anymore? Because when you're not fighting with yourself anymore, then you're not fighting with the world around you. You become unstoppable. You truly become healthy, happy, wise. All the things that most people say when you say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I just want to be happy. Okay, but what does that look like for you? I just want to be healthy. Okay, but what does that look like for you? Healthy for someone who's sick just means maybe being able to get up out of bed and go downstairs. Healthy for someone who runs marathons might mean something completely different. So you're going to be invited to even break down your rules, like the things that you say from a mental body place. Do you know why you say them? The dreams that you once slapped on a vision board, are they still your dreams? And why do you want that? Do you want that because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses? Or do you want that because you truly, I desire it? There's no desire too big, by the way, but there's also no desire too small. So I'll give you an example because some people like examples. They're like, okay, I understand there's physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spirit body. And the density is like physical first, then mental, then emotional, then spiritual. So we're going up the vibrational scale, and then they each have their shadow and they each have their light. How am I experiencing that now without even know, like this is all happening within me and I don't even know it? So an example of what it might look like so that you can conceptualize it. Um, Side note, parenthèse, as we say in French. If I have any Disney fans here, the movie Inside Out. Like the movie Inside Out is the best way to describe all of this because all of the emotions, all the little characters are a part of Riley, right? So when we watch the movie, we see Riley, she's doing her thing, she's living life. And then we see that in the background, we see all the little cute characters and this big remote console thing. And they're all, controlling how she's experiencing life. And then there's core memories and then there's lost memories. And there's such a beautiful visual to it. So there's only usually like all emotions are present, but there's one kind of using the remote controls. That's kind of how it is when you are experiencing life. So you're sitting down. You're in a nice cozy hammock or you're in your bed and you're journaling. Actually, let's be honest. A lot of you're sitting down. If you're getting quiet time, you're probably on the toilet or you're probably in the shower because it's the only quiet time you have right now. You get inspired. I get a lot of really good inspiration in the shower. It's not super convenient because I can't write it down right away, but either way, where are my people at? But you get inspired, right? You're like, oh my goodness, woo, dreams are percolating. I got to download. Life is good. I'm going to do the thing. And then a few minutes later, sometimes instantly, your energy body, your goddess energy, right? Because it's coming from this download. It feels like it's my spirit guides. They gave me the thing. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're limitless. You can do the thing. But then right after your emotions kick in, like, oh, I don't know, because we're going down the scale, right? That's really scary. Remember the last time? Do you remember? Okay, just to remind you, the last time we did something similar to that, it sounded like fun, and then everyone rejected us. And then everyone made fun of us. Oh my God, it was so painful. Don't make me do that again. And then mental body's like, wait, what? My inner child is crying? So mental body's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? You're going to do that? You're not good enough. No, no. Like, look at yourself. You are not good. Beside, look at inner child. Inner child is crying. They're all worked up right now. You don't want to feel that again, do you? You're going to put all that time, all that energy, and it's just going to end up miserably, and you're going to be crying. Do you really want to do that? And then physical bodies now starts to get worked up, right? And physical body's like, just so you know, you're super tired. Like there are not enough hours in a day. And there's rules on the planet and there's laws. And like none of what you're thinking of like logically makes sense. Like you can't do that within that time frame. I mean, is there any insurance that this is gonna work? Like if we do all this work, like can we afford to do that? Because I can't physically work more hours to make more money. So I'm just gonna give you a big headache and make you think that this idea is stupid. Does this sound familiar? Hmm. The problem is most people stop here. So they have that inspiration from a high vibe place, and then they go down the vibrational scale, right? Emotional, mental, and physical body, and then they're defeated. And they're in this downward spiral vibrationally, right? You're going towards a denser vibration. And then you're like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. So you just take that dream and you either chuck it away or you tuck it away for later. And then maybe the dream comes back or maybe not, depending on if you chucked it or tucked it. I'm going to give you a better way. I'm inviting you to move up the vibrational scale again. So even if you don't take action on the dream, on the inspiration, even if you never pursue it, if you tuck it, but from a good higher vibrational place, it's going to feel better. So how you do that is you just took your bodies down and you're back to physical body. You're going to take a deep breath. So now physical body, instead of feeling super activated, is more calm. If it takes a few deep breaths, take a few deep breaths. I've got tons of really good meditations and breathing exercises on my platforms. Take your nervous system out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. You can do some vagus nerve activations, whatever you need. Take your physical body out of the equation. Okay. Now, the mental body. You're going to be friends with your mental body, your inner critic. So you say, okay, mental body, I get what you're saying. And I might not have all of the data that I need to do this, but I can learn. I can learn. Once upon a time, I didn't know how to read, and here I am reading. Once upon a time, I didn't even know how to walk, and I learned how to walk. I can maybe ask someone who's done it before. I'm going to ask them, "Hey, you did this thing and I want to do this thing. Can you help me? Can you tell me what worked for you, what didn't?" I'm willing, and this is the key. Hey, mental body, warrior, put the sword down, because I am even willing to suck at it first. That's right. I'm willing to be really bad at it and then get better. Mental body's like, "What? You couldn't do that. You can't do that. You're a perfectionist. You are no. You need to do it perfectly before you even get started." And then you talk to mental body and like, "Nope. Nope. I am the boss. I am at the remote controls and I am telling you that I don't have to." So mental body's like really mad but surrenders. And then your emotion body's like, "Oh no, this is really scary." And you say, "I know, emotion body, it is really scary." You talk to your emotion body like you would talk to a child. You say, "I really want to do this. I desire it. And although my feelings might get hurt, although I might get rejected, I know that I'm a good person. I know that I have a lot of love to give." So emotion body, I'm promising you that I'm going to set better standards for myself. I'm going to set better boundaries for myself. I'll say no when things feel uncomfortable and feel unsafe, but I'm going to trust that the right people will show up over time if I stay consistent. There is a big risk of sadness, emotion body, and I know that you're scared because it's a huge risk. But that's the shadow. And the light is that there's also a big risk of feeling big love. And if I never open myself up to big risks, I'll never feel the big love. And I want us to feel the big love, the big win, the big joy. What do you say? And usually emotion body will jump in on the fun. And if not, you stay in the scale. Remember, you're working your way up the scale, but you want to stay wherever you are and work through that. Now your energy body and your spirit guides, you say, I know, and I know we always look up, right? They're here, like they're us, they're with us, but we tend to do that. But I know you're with me. Please guide me along the way. Give me strength, give me resilience, help me with the synchronicities, right? Give me little winks from the universe so that I know I'm going the right way. The 222s on the clock, or the 1111s, or the license plates, or whatever it may be for you. But dear spirit guides, please just guide me along the way and show me that I'm on the right path. So what you've done now is although you worked yourself down, you're now working yourself back up. And some of you may be able to do this on your own, but again, if you're not, that's why I have one-on-one sessions. I do somato-emotional release that really works on like the somatics, like where does that come from? Can we release it? The things that you've tucked in, how to let them go or how to transform them, how to hold space for yourself. These are all parts of the one-on-one therapies that I offer. But you can still take yourself at least through some of the process. And then wherever you get stuck, you write that down so that when you come to me or to someone else, you can say, "Listen, this is the process I took myself through, and this is where I was really stuck. Can you help me untangle that?" This takes your sessions so much further, by the way, because the more you know yourself, the deeper you can go. And when you get to the root of some stuff, it's really powerful. If you are incredibly terrified of rejection, I know it's kind of like immersion therapy, but you need to put yourself out there and risk being rejected, because that might actually come from 5-year-old you who didn't get picked to go to the sleepover at a friend's house. And it's not really that you didn't get picked, it's just that friend could only invite so many people, and there's a story behind it, but you never got the story. You see, When we don't have closure on, it's called closure for a reason. When we don't have closure on something, when we don't have the clarity on it, our mental mind, it fills the gaps for us. Sally didn't invite me because she thought I was stinky. I was a horrible friend. So therefore, I'm a horrible person and I'm not worthy of good friendships. And you carry that with you into adulthood. And then you have a sisterhood wound, right? Ugh, girly slumber parties in your 30s and 40s, please. Lame. Is it lame? Or is it just that you wish you had those types of friendships? You get to choose. And the closure that you've given yourself, if it's not factual, if it's just something your brain came up with, I invite you to open that loop again and to have a chat with your mental body and be like, we believe that, but do we know that to be true? And how would you like it to be? Because that's a closure exercise that you can do. And I will take you through that in the next module. See how I'm like planting seeds just to say like, hey, you can keep on going here because we're going to have lots more fun. But in the next module, I'll teach you a completion process that is truly life-changing. So everyone is running around. Everyone is running around trying to be amazing tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm going to start on Monday. Oh, January 1st. I'm going to start on January 1st. Yay me. Or whatever it may be, right? On my birthday. We're always saying we're going to be amazing tomorrow. The ones that really change the world are the ones that can be extraordinary today. And just the fact that you're here and your attention span stayed for this entire module is extraordinary. Because there is science that show that our attention span now, like 30 seconds, which is really sad, by the way. I think it's from like Reels and TikToks and things like that. But once upon a time, not too long ago, it was a minute. Now it's 30 seconds. And although I am very neurodivergent, so sometimes I'm the same way, I'm like, get to the point. I now breathe and say, okay, no mental body. I know you're all over the place and I know you're neurodivergent, but let's just stick with this. So the fact that you're here, you're extraordinary. And just I want to give you a friendly reminder that although we're going to talk about vibration, like we talked about vibrations, right? Going up and down the vibrational scale. And it's just a reminder that like vibes do matter, vibration matters, and it's very real, and energy is a frequency, is a part of us, and our thoughts do impact a lot of our reality, but it's not the end all be all, because sometimes you're going to feel angry. Sometimes you're going to feel overwhelmed. Sometimes you're going to feel all sorts of feelings, maybe even throughout this program, because this is a healing journey more than a program if you let it be. So one of the biggest miscommunications out there, especially in the world of vision boards and spirituality, is high vibe only. Nails on a chalkboard. High vibe only. I get what they're saying. They're wanting people to show up and not like bring down the vibe. Like I get it, but at the same time, all vibes are welcome here. All vibes are welcome here, because even if you're not having a good day, I don't want you to wear a mask pretending that all is good. You're not having a good day. What's going on? Your vibe is welcome here. Tell me a story. Tell me what's going on. Because our inner child, for many of us, we're told, high vibe is only. If you're not going to be quiet and cute or sit up straight, you get out of my face. Right? Go outside. Shoo. That's high vibe only. That's that. Except we're doing it to each other as adults. High vibe is the thing that people sell you so that you become less annoying to them. Right? Oh my God, here's Debbie Downer, still in her problems. Ugh. Yeah, because nobody's ever listening to her. So the problem lies when you put happiness on a pedestal. How can you create beautiful dreams? The hero's journey, I don't know if you're familiar with the hero's journey process, but the hero's journey process is like they start and they have like traumas and dramas and obstacles and villains and bad guys and bad girls, and then they just like keep going, and then there's the victory. Like most good movies are made out of that hero's journey. It's not like, hi, I'm happy. I'm still happy. And I lived happily ever after. Like, how boring would that be? You wouldn't watch that. Why would you want to live it? Like, it's just, it's so silly. Actually, my brother sent me a meme the other day. It was really hilarious. And it was like, if Titanic, if the movie Titanic in the story, well, I mean, it's a real life story, but the movie, if the movie Titanic was filmed where they did not hit the iceberg, and it was like a 5 second clip, and it was like, iceberg, oh, and then the movie finishes, right? So let's not put happiness on a pedestal. Let's say, yeah, I desire to feel peace and joy and happiness, but I embrace all emotions. And I love being surrounded by people who are happy, who are joyful, who are positive, but I love them where they're at. And yes, sometimes that means putting standards and boundaries for people who maybe aren't willing to be self-led or aren't willing to help themselves. Absolutely. But let's not call people low vibe. Oh my God, they're so low vibe. They suck the energy right out of a room. No, no. Oh my gosh, they're in their shadow, they're struggling and nobody's helping them out. Or they're in their shadow, they're struggling and people are offering help and they're not wanting it. But there's no low vibe people. There's no toxic people. Like we're all beautiful. We are all worthy of love, all of us. So our job is not to be high vibe. Our job is to be big vibe. Because big vibe means you're holding this like all the vibe. You're holding all of the emotions, shadow and light, co creation, people that drive you bonkers, people that you love. You're just holding all of it and you're like, this is life. This is the vibe. I am the vibe. Life in 3D Earth reality is the vibe. Stop trying to ascend all the time. Stop trying to escape. You came from up there down here to live something. Stop trying to go up there again. It ain't your time yet. Every now and then, maybe in a meditation, just to feel good, just to do some healing, but you're meant to live on earth. So the vibe, the vision is that we are going to accept ourselves and we are going to let go of what other people think of us. We're going to let go of what society thinks of us. We're going to try to stop doing the same to other people, right? Judging them, expecting things from them. And we're just going to be the vibe. Because if any of you are on here, I'm talking to myself as well, right? Like, what are people going to think? What are people going to think? I read this, and if you know where it's from, please tell me so I can quote them. But I remember reading something and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so genius. If I called you a purple pig, you'd be so annoyed. You'd be like, Cindy, you're crazy. I'm not a purple pig. I'd be like, yeah, you're a purple pig. And you'd be like, no, I'm not a purple pig. And I'm like, you're a purple pig. You'd be like, well, first of all, I'm wearing black, but no, I'm not a purple pig. You would get so annoyed, wouldn't you? Like, you would not accept it to be true. Most of the things we grow up believing about ourselves are just as untrue. You may have had a teacher call you a purple pig, but actually it sounded more like you'll never amount to anything unless you can start to focus. You may have had a coach, like you'll never be an athlete. You just don't have the capacity. There are people who have called you purple pig and you have accepted it as your truth. You have accepted it as a belief. It is just time to tell your mental body a different story. So I am inviting you to be open to change. You will get whatever you want from this program. You will not get what I give you. What I give you, like I said, there's data, and the data exists everywhere. You've probably heard all of this before. But this is the time that if you choose so, these concepts, you are going to choose to embody them. You are going to choose to create the change, and you are going to let yourself be open and available to receive and embody the program. That is what will create magic for you. So whether you're here because you're healing from grief, from loss, maybe it's the beginning of the new year. Maybe you want to set some good resolutions. Maybe you want to take your life like to the next level and it's time for a big change. Whatever it may be, let's put the star in starting over. I am so happy that you're here, and I am so happy to co-create with you. And your homework for today is fairly simple, but a lot of you might want to skip through it because it's so simple. but it's important. I'm asking you and inviting you to create a sacred space for yourself. This is a place where you're going to go and you're going to reflect. You're going to do this at least once a day. So the reason it's important to create a space and rather than several spaces is because your mental body, as you're starting to take the backpack off and you're starting to work with it, it is inevitable that your mental body is going to come up with excuses as to why not to do it, is going to distract you. It's just the warrior just works that way. But if you create a sacred space where you go once a day, and this can even be your bed, by the way. If you're like, Cindy, I live in a, like, have you seen the price of living? Like, I live in a tiny house and there is no space. Yeah, there's space. Like, it could be your bed. It could be in your closet. Actually, when I first took myself through a lot of these processes, it was my closet. I just created a little altar in my closet and it wasn't fancy, but I knew when I walked by, I was like, oh, I've got to do the thing. So let it be a place where you're comfortable journaling, where you're comfortable doing breath work or meditation, where you're comfortable being present with yourself. Maybe bring like your favorite little crystal, a candle, a picture, something. You can create a cozy little space for yourself. Maybe some of you already have an altar and this is where you go, so that's amazing. You've done the homework already. But maybe you have one and you want to rearrange it. So rearrange it with a few of your favorite things. We're not creating the vision board just yet, so don't panic, but eventually you might bring it in there, or you might bring it somewhere else. But for now, just a space where you can go and you can be with yourself. In the workbook, you'll see there are pages, there are journaling pages, writing pages. So you don't have to go out and buy a brand new journal if you don't want to. If you love journals, then yes, absolutely. Go buy yourself a new journal. But it is important that you have a fresh journal or fresh pages for this program because you don't want to bring yesterday you into the future you. So fresh start all around. If you can print some pages if you want some, or even just have like regular blank pages, it doesn't matter, whatever fills your cup. And again, this step might seem simple, but it's super important because you're already setting yourself up for success. You're already setting yourself up to create healthy habits. And it's a place, it's a sacred space for you. So if you have kids and pets and partners and people, like it's just, there's a lot of people in your world, there's a lot of things going on. It's your space. So you can even tell people, be like, this is my little place. Don't touch. No trespassing. I remember like we had a little clubhouse. It was like, no boys allowed. And then, that's inner child, right? No boys allowed. And then inner teenagers like, let's just flip that. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. But no, I digress. It is important. And I hope that you let yourself create that space. And the reason, if you missed the module on like way back when what is the Zen Diva? Because I talked about the Zen Diva as a program, as in the Odyssey, the membership and all that. The Zen Diva is exactly that. We can be Zen and we can be Diva. So the physical body and the mental, Diva. The physical body and the mental body are very Diva. They're more dense. They're more material things. They're more human experience. Whereas the Zen is more the goddess energy, the spirituality, the emotions, and the energetics and everything. And being able to be a little bit of both is important. So that's why I talk about the journal. We're not in a place of judgment here. If you have scrap paper, you have scrap paper. If it's recycled paper, you went and you got some tree bark yourself and you smushed it all up and you rolled it and you made your own Zen paper. I think that is beautiful. Do that. And if you're like, no, I just saw that Gucci had a sale and they had this planner that I've been wanting forever and I bought it. That's very diva. And that's very amazing. So we are in a place where all can play and all truths are true and all truths are valid. So let this program be whatever you desire it to be and let it evolve as you evolve. So if you change your mind along the way, if you create a room or a space and you change your mind, let it be okay. But don't just say, this space isn't going to work. I'm not going to do anything. This space isn't going to work. What will work? And then create a new one. Because remember, that would be taking yourself down the scale and then saying this space doesn't work. And then you're just chucking it or shelving it. Instead, you're going to do that. And then you're going to work your way back up the scale to, okay, but what space would work? What space can I do? What space can I create for myself? I am very excited for you. I'm I'm trying to contain my excitement because at times I get really excited and I scream in the microphone and then it just sounds distorted when you're driving to work and you're like, bah! But I'm really excited. And if you feel inspired to share your space with me, if you feel inspired to show me the space you've created, please do so. So share a picture, a reel, whatever you want, and tag me at the Zen Diva Cindy. And then I get to see it and then we get to co-create and play together. So anytime you have anything that you want to tag me on, feel free. It's at the Zen Diva Cindy on Instagram. It's the Zen Diva Cindy on Facebook. And on my YouTube channel, I don't think you can add pictures. So anyways, you can just comment like, hey, I've created the space. Wherever you're playing, whatever social media world you play in, I might not see your post unless you tag me. So feel free to do so. And I look forward to playing with you in the next module.